So I'm at the stage now with the iris where I'm sort of noodling, drawing these lines back and forth. I've got some symmetry going on, of course, some radial symmetry around here. Some of these little details are a bit too small because this is only going to be 20 centimeters across, roughly, because the computer is 8.5 centimeters across. This is going to be printed in here. So I'm going to have to cut it into quarters, I think, because if I make this like life size, there we go, you can see that it's too big for my printer, because that print bed at the top, I would open it, but it's got the old prototype on the top. The print bed is way too small, so I'm going to cut it into quarters. That's what I'm going to do with that. I just need to put some more details on here. There's going to be more detail on here. There's going to be more details in here, all the way around. Then I've got to figure out how I'm going to cut it in a way that it hasn't got obvious lines in it, so there'll be some sort of overlap. Maybe this piece will be covering the line, or something here maybe will come over and sort of cover the crack a little bit. And that's it. Then I'm going to print it. I'm going to spray paint it once I've built it, and it's going to be color shift, so it's going to be black, but then it's going to have iridescence, like a bit like a beetle shell. And I got to figure out where the cable is going to come out. There's going to be room for cables in here. I've got to clean up all of this nonsense from the back as well, because I want this to be not use up too much resin. It does need to be strong, so some sort of supportive walls are going to be left in the back. There's a sketch actually. Whoop. And yeah, and then of course when you use the augmented reality glasses, it brings up extra animated details that will be digital rather than actually printed. But that's quite a long way off, because I don't even know what the artwork inside on the screen is going to be. But I think I'd like to collaborate with different artists, so they send me different markers, and then they can decide what happens in 3D. I think I might put more of these circles in here like this. So that there's more sort of like anchors for different parts of the digital overlay, I suppose. And these are just getting rid of this horrible wallpaper, replacing it with wooden panels. These are like samples from Wood Up, and I'm going with this tonal one that is kind of like dark wood, but it's a few different colors, so these are all going to be slightly different, and that whole wall is going to be covered in that. Then I'm going to have lights and shelves and VR headset things going up on there, some hooks and things, although I do kind of like this one, and I did like the black, and I do like the walnut, but we're going to go for this one. I might get that ordered today, to be honest. I'm going to make this room nice, but tomorrow I'm in the studio.